High schooler Sadie and her little sis Sawyer are reeling after the recent death of their mother. Their therapist father Will is dealing with the loss in the least therapeutic way possible, by bottling it all up. It ain't good. And to make matters much, much worse, the boogeyman wants to eat 'em all. And you thought you were going through a rough patch. The Boogeyman is the newest adaptation of a Stephen King story. Does it enter the pantheon of other elite Stephen King adaptations like The Shining, Carrie, Christine, The Dead Zone, Pet Sematary, Salem's Lot? Or will it end up in the Stephen King bargain bin, alongside movies like The Dark Tower, Firestarter, and Cell? The Boogeyman does a decent job of conveying the family's overwhelming sense of loss. You can feel the tension between Sadie and her father, the uncomfortable silences in which both want to address how much they're hurting to one another, but neither can find the words. You can also feel Sadie's sense of loneliness, particularly when she returns to school for the first time after her mother's death, and everyone there treats her as if she's contagious or something. Sophie Thatcher shines as Sadie. She carries the movie and delivers a strong performance. As a matter of fact, all the performances here are quite good, and I was pleasantly surprised to see Marion Ireland from The Dark and the Wicked appear in a supporting role. The opening moments of The Boogeyman, which depicts the closing moments of a victim of the Boogeyman, is pretty effective and gets the movie off to a promising start. The first maybe half of The Boogeyman was at least somewhat compelling due to the performances, the sense of loss, the family tension, and it's here where the movie could have taken a more psychological approach to what the Boogeyman is and why the Boogeyman is. But it's like they just went, nah, let's take this mother on a trip down I've seen this movie 1,000 times before street. You know where that is. You go down Familiar Boulevard, and if you see Repetition Drive, you've gone too far. This is another one of those movies I feel like I've paid to see, a dozen or so times before. CGI monster who's repelled by light stalks young'uns, feeding off their fear before eventually feeding off them. How many movies just came to mind? I haven't read the Stephen King story, so I don't know if any of these familiar elements are present in that story or not, but considering how short a short story it is, I imagine co-writers Scott Beck, Brian Woods, and Mark Heyman took a lot of artistic liberties with the source material. Unfortunately, the bulk of those artistic liberties aren't very artistic or original. So as far as suspense, thrills, chills, tension, or any sense of excitement, it ain't here. And the final act turns into just another bad CGI monster movie. All the scares, and honestly, I didn't feel like the movie was going out of its way to try and be scary in the first place, but what few scares there are were lackluster to say the least. There were a couple of abrupt jump scares, though they didn't make anyone in the theater I was in jump. I recall Jeremy actually laughing at one of them. The creature itself is also very underwhelming. It's just another CGI rendered boring looking monster that could have fit in any number of recent monster movies. This is supposed to be the Boogeyman, right? I mean, he's kind of a big deal. But here, it, whatever, is just boring and not at all menacing. I also caught myself yawning a couple of times during the movie. The pacing is a bit sluggish. I definitely would not call it a slow burn. It's just slow. And dark. And I don't mean dark as in, this movie is dark. I mean, why is this movie so freaking dark? And I get that the Boogeyman is repelled by light, but you'd think that all the other characters here are too. So we just got out of the Boogeyman, and Jeremy, tell us your thoughts on the movie.
Cool.
You thought it was cool? What was your favorite part?
Killing the babysitter.
Killing the babysitter? I don't remember a babysitter getting killed. Was there a babysitter that got killed?
Yes.
Okay. What about the Boogeyman, the creature? Was it scary?
Yes.
Was it a scary movie?
Yes.
Were you scared while watching it?
Yes.
You got really excited a few times while watching it, I know that. Right?
Right.
So do you recommend the Boogeyman to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, you'd recommend everybody go see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you Would you say it's appropriate for all ages?
Oh, yeah, all ages.
Okay, it's appropriate for all ages. It's not too scary, right?
It's scary.
It's scary, but not too scary, right?
Yes.
What was the scariest thing about the Boogeyman?
Inspired by Pennywise.
You think the Boogeyman was inspired by Pennywise?
By it.
By it? Yeah, okay. I can see that a little bit. So what else do you think about the Boogeyman?
One bun up.
Okay, one thumb up or two?
2 buns up.
Okay, so I think Jeremy's kind of stuck, but how about a thumb and a half?
1.5.
A thumb and a half. A thumb and a half up for Jeremy when it
Yes.
comes to the Boogeyman,
Yes.
right? Okay. So where does the Boogeyman stand in the pantheon of Stephen King adaptations? Well, it's definitely nowhere near the elites, but I wouldn't say it's quite bargain bin material either. The Boogeyman belongs somewhere in the middle, floating in this limbo, alongside countless other unnecessary, low effort, and completely forgettable King adaptations. If you're in the mood for a great Stephen King adaptation that's been unfairly slept on, seek out The Night Flyer. If you've seen The Boogeyman, let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know a King adaptation that you think doesn't get enough love. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.